I wanted to find a way to hang some license plates up on the wall, and these are American style license plates, and I tried to find some chains, like plastic chains, that I could just cut and use individual links for in them. But I could never find a chain that just has quite the right dimension. So I thought, well, let me quickly design one in Fusion and just 3D print that. So I came up with this following design, and you can see this is a two-part design. We have got the link itself, which looks like that, with the kind of rounded ends over here. And then lastly, we have this clip, which can be clipped into place, which is basically just a straight shaft of the same opposite circular size. The interesting thing here, though, is that I did everything in with parameters. So if I go to these parameters, you can see over here, and I'm going to go and take you through what some of these do. Let's make this box a lot smaller and move that out of the way. Right, so first of all, we have pitch. Pitch is 27 millimeters in this example. That is if I move this over here, and let's quickly go and twist this around a little bit. Pitch is the distance. If I go straight to the top, let's do that and just zoom a bit smaller and move this over. Between the middle of this circle of this link here to effectively the middle of this circle over here. So basically you can see these lines up top and bottom. The center to center is 27 millimeters, and that's parameterized. Next one is the radius. That's the radius of this circle over here. You can see over here the radius right now from this center point to this edge is 10 millimeters all the way around, but that can be adjusted as needed. So the diameter is of course twice that, 20 millimeters. The thickness of the material, I have 6 millimeters, and what you will see is that from most perspectives this is almost a round, 6 millimeter round, like this clip at the top. But what I have done is I have shaved off the sides just a little bit, which makes 3D printing easier, which is this trim piece over here, which you can see is 0.5 millimeter on either side. And that just makes this really, really easy to 3D print. So how did I print these? Well, the first one over here, let's try and take this one now. And this is the one that I would like to 3D print. I wonder if there's something if I can do this from here. No, I can't, so I have to click on the top, File, 3D print. Let's go and take this object. I use Cura as my print utility, so let's open up Cura. Now I print this on the Creality Ender 3, and my belief is to get as far as I can with the default out-of-the-box settings. You'll see this is Cura 3.6, which now comes with the default print profile for the Ender 3, and I'm just using recommended settings of 0.2 millimeters, layer height, and a 20% infill. Now by default, I'm not going to generate support for this. Let's go and twist this and take this a little bit nearer, and I can move it up a little bit, tilt it over, and then zoom in. So there's the object lying flat on its side. I can prepare that. It's just going to be prepared with a regular brim as well as the item itself. So let's go and move that up. There we go, and zoom it further. Now we can see some of these layers. So by default, you can see we're going to get 3 layers across the bottom of solid layers. There they are. Then we get that 20% infill most of the way through, followed by 3 layers to cap it off at the top. And this prints fairly well. Let's take a look at printing the pin. So let's go back here again, File, 3D print. I'll select the pin this time, head over to Cura, and there it is. Now the way I try to print this, and if I go back to Object View, is I try to rotate this upright. So let's go and shift this a little bit in 3D space. There we go. I'll try to take this axis and print this upright, so that'll be 90 degrees. There we go. I don't know why that didn't do it. There we go. Minus 90. Upright like that. I did say generate support. Let's move that thing over. Let's say slice. And let's go to the layer view. And there we go. So you can see at the bottom it's actually going to print some around the brim, then some support material as well. And you can see that support material here, in the middle of this ring is actually the first part of the main piece starting to fill in. There it comes. So the main piece fills, 3 layers of the bottom of the piece, 20% infill, and then across the top we basically just get that concave shape for the clip as well. So that's how to try to print that. So let's head to the printer now and see how that comes out. Alrighty, so the individual links themselves came out very, very nicely. Here they are, they're rounded edges. Of course, they were printed on their side, so that works well, and they're nice and strong. The clips, well, I was a little bit optimistic. It went so well. As you saw in the video, towards the end, this right tower started falling over, and then eventually it started taking out the left tower. You can see here we're almost right at the end, so I'm actually going to try and salvage one of these pieces just so that we can take a look how it would have worked out. So let me see if I can trim off some of this build material, and then we'll see, there we go, what it could have been like. I think this obviously needs a bit more refinement when it comes to the actual print itself. There we go, that side came out pretty good for underneath, as you can see there. Top side, well, it got most of the way done. You can see it was literally the last layer or two before things all went completely chaos. There we go, so that doesn't look too bad. What about the other one? This one didn't get as far. You can see over here, this is almost got to the end. Now the whole thought was that these would clip into this space over here. You can see they're exactly the right height, so you can lock them in. It can be a bit of a tight fit. There we go. But now effectively your link is closed if you want to use it in that manner. That's the whole point of these. But I think I would print these maybe in a different orientation going forward. Also maybe shave off the sides and print them lying down might be a lot easier. All right, so what are these clips for? Well, that's the interesting piece. So over here I've got some old number plates. And the thinking was I would like to hang them one beneath the other onto the wall. Now to hang the top two on the wall is easy. I want to hang all subsequent plates off of one another, and that's where these come in. Now this has been dimensioned to the absolute minimum that can make it into here, and only just, that's why it's parameterized. As you can see, you can go and push this one in. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but it just makes it through. There we go. On this side as well. And now I can go ahead and clip that onto the very next plate. Once again, just as tight a fit. There we go. I could probably do with a 0.5 millimeter more on some of these parameters. And there we go. These two now hang beneath one another. On the flip side, if you really wanted to, now of course I don't have two of these, only the one. You could go and lock these into place by adding this lock. There we go. And that just makes sure that under no circumstances can any of these come out at all. Right, I'm going to go and hang these up. And there it is. The garage / man cave decoration is in place. You can hang a whole string of these together, as many as you like. All because of one little set of clips. You can print as many as you need.